What up, everybody? I'm here with my boy Nick. Nick, about a year ago, bought a house. I encouraged him to buy a house. He had me help him, asked me to help him look for one. And I even told him at that point in time, because he was living in Conway, South Carolina, which is right near Myrtle Beach. And he was like, yeah, he's looking. I'm like, dude, you're going to need to find something in the country town, is what I told him. Because I'm like, I know the South. There's all these little small towns, like 8 miles away. I said, you're going to need to find something rural. And then, funny enough, I don't think you were even planning on that point in time. And then your mom found one on some acreage, basically a house on, how many acres are you on right now?
I'm on one, but the properties next to me, they're not technically mine. They're my brother and my parents. So we're kind of on 11, but my actual property is only one.
So you guys have like a family compound, but you're the first person living on it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Now my brother's here too.
What did your brother pay for his?
I think his was 160. It might have been 180, I think, after like some changes and additions and stuff like that.
And yours was like, let's go through your deal right now. We can show the audience like what you paid, what it looks like right now. I know you've been doing some changes right now, but originally you paid 40 grand for 1 acre and a house, right?
Right. So they sold it to me as just a lot. They considered it, not like an actual house because of the state that the house was in. So I bought 1 acre, which had a house on it. It was just kind of a POS for 42.5, and then I put about 40 into that. So I was in it total about 82. And at that point, yeah, it was like a completely, almost like a brand new house. It's got a lot of little quirks and whatnot still, but yeah.
What do you think you could sell it for?
It was most recently appraised for 115. Everyone tells me that that's BS, and like the original appraisal I got was 130.
We can comp it out, and I can show you kind of how I comp out and look at properties to see like what I think it's worth, to kind of show you what I'm getting at. But bottom line is, we had a conversation probably a couple weeks ago, and I was like, bro, like you need to do another one now. Like you've done one, it's been a year, you haven't finished your deck yet. You need to get your deck finished. So Nick's on the market, ladies. If you're looking for a really cool guy to hang out with, successful bachelor, good savings account, future millionaire, is going to become a millionaire through both real estate and through editing videos. He's got his own side business. He's bringing in money through TikTok. He's bringing in money through YouTube, and he's a really cool, nice guy, very ethical, hardworking dude. I'm telling all this soon, not just to toot his horn, because he's been a soldier for me. All right, let's get into the Redfin right here. I'm gonna pull up your house right now. What I would go out and do is, when I go to Redfin, I always go look and I'll be like, all right, what's going on here? This is where he lives. You can see that this house, that's kind of similar to your square foot. You're 800 square feet.
I think it's about 850.
So I would look at this one, who has a deck, by the way. They're on 0.5 acres, and your house is probably, I would guess, in as good a shape as this, if not better.
I would say, I think mine's better.
Yeah, so this one just sold for 182,000, and it's on a half acre. So I would say that yours is worth at least that much. This one sold. This one's bigger. Yeah, I think your house is definitely. Ooh, this is one you should have bought, bro. This sold for 30 grand. This is what I've been telling them to do. So let me give you a quick tip. If you're watching this video right now and you're interested, you need to set yourself up basically a Redfin search, which is you go through here, you look for homes for sale. So that's what we're going to do right now. But yeah, I definitely stick by what I think your house is worth is 150,000 bucks. So just because you have the acreage is always going to do better. The other cool thing is that his house would be eligible for USDA finance. And I'll give you a quick little tip right here. Yeah. So you could just go in here. He could set up a for sale, right? He could go in here and be like, all right, I'm looking for houses that are under 100 grand. You're just going to come in your house. And he's got one right here. Like that's the only one that pops up, Like I would put an offer on that if I was him. That's in Loris.
That's one of the links I sent you.
Oh, is it one of the links? Boom. Let's go through it. Okay, cool.
So I'm going to take over the video from here, because after this point, Troy and I looked through a bunch of properties in my area that I could potentially flip, which is going to be an entire separate video on its own. And if you're looking to get into house flipping, or if you're a beginner, I highly recommend keeping an eye out for that video, because I'm a beginner and I found the information that he shared with me extremely useful. But for this video, we're going to take a look at the property that I'm currently living in, which Troy helped me out with. And the reason that we're looking at my property is because it's a great example of a house to be flipped, but I needed a house to live in, so I'm living in it. So this was an off-market property that we found in a rural part of South Carolina on 1 acre. I think they were originally asking for $48,000 for it, but Troy suggested I try to knock the price down a little bit, and I ended up buying it for $42,500. Because of the condition that the house was in, I got a land loan for the property itself. It wasn't really considered a house when I tried to buy it, just land. And I ended up getting a construction loan for the repairs, which came out to a little over $40,000. So after everything was said and done, I was into the property just shy of $90,000. That was my all-in. At first, I was paying about $800 a month between the two loans, which is obviously pretty nice considering that renting in a lot of places is double that price. But then I refinanced and I rolled those two loans into one loan, and now I'm only paying $600 a month for my mortgage. So it's very affordable for me to live in, but moving into this house made me realize how possible it is to flip houses. Like I mentioned on my call with Troy, it was most recently appraised for $115,000, but previous appraisals that I've had put it at $130,000, and Troy thinks it's possible for me to get $150,000 out of it. So that would mean that on the absolute lowest end, I'd still be looking at a potential profit of $25,000 if I were to sell, and up to $60,000 in the best case scenario. And I'm a single guy, so this was only my income that was put into the deal to make it happen. It is possible to flip a house nowadays, or even just buy a house. Like I said, I'm in a rural area, which is obviously going to be cheaper than buying in a big city, but if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone a bit, save some money, drive around the area to find distressed properties, you can achieve your goals. Never in my life did I think that I was going to flip houses, and I still haven't flipped one. I am not yet a real estate investor. But in these next videos that we're going to release, you're going to see Troy and I going through the process of me taking my first steps into house flipping. After fixing up the house that I'm currently living in, I know it's possible. I know that I'm capable of doing it. I'm 26 years old now. I bought this house when I was 25. I had no experience. I didn't know anything about real estate. It's just all about taking that first step. And the first step that I personally recommend you do if you've never flipped a house, or even if you have flipped one but you just need more guidance, is to reach out to Troy and look into his mentorship program. He's had tons of students, tons of success stories, not a single story of failure. None of his students have ever lost money. And I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. As someone who works for Troy and has seen all the success of his students, he is the real deal. He is the guy that can change your life and lead you towards a path of financial freedom. And if you place your trust in him, if you're willing to put in the work on your end, you will be successful. So I hope this video serves as a sort of inspiration to anyone who's looking to buy a house or looking to flip a house, but they're scared to make the first step. And if you want to get in contact with Troy and see if his mentorship program is a good fit for you, we have a link in the description, so go check that out. There's a great community there, a lot of people to learn from. You can partner with people in the community. It's more than just modules and reading stuff. It's having actual access to other investors as well as Troy himself. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our upcoming videos.